You're right on time for breaking today. Good evening from where you're watching us from. My name is Joel Church and our sign language interpreter is Michael Maithia. We have a lot in line for you and these are our top stories. Relief for Kenyans after petrol and diesel prices drop by 5 shillings per litre and kerosene prices by 7 shillings and 28 cents. High Court deems the popularized Huduma number illegal. A child goes missing and after serial killer Masten Wanjala escapes police cells. Talk to us via social media platforms as Switch TV Kenya, Joel Chacha M on Twitter, as well on Facebook, Switch TV Kenya and Joel Chacha. Send in an SMS via 111 and begin. It is a relief for Kenyans after petrol and diesel prices have dropped by 5 shillings per litre and kerosene prices by 7 shillings and 28 cents in the latest Energy and Petroleum Regulatory Authority pump price review for this month. Fuel beginning midnight will retail at 129 shillings and 72 cents and for super petrol 110 shillings and 60 cents for diesel and 103 shillings and 54 cents per litre for kerosene respectively in Nairobi. And now we move to the corridors of justice, where the High Court has today deemed the widely popularized Huduma number as illegal, saying that it is in conflict with the Data Protection Act, with more than 37 million Kenyans having registered for the Huduma number in the first phase of registration in 2019. The fate of this biometric identity scheme hangs in the balance. Our reporter Brian Mwenda breaks it down for us.
37 million is the number of Kenyans who registered for Huduma number in 2019. 9.6 million is the number of Huduma cards issued and delivered to their respective destinations. Out of these, 6.4 million have been collected, leaving 3 million cards uncollected. 10 billion Kenyan shillings is the amount of money spent by the government in rolling out this Huduma number exercise.
Huduma number cards that have been distributed must be collected.
And now, the High Court has deemed Huduma number illegal. According to the court, Huduma number is in conflict with the Data Protection Act, and the government should have conducted impact assessment before rolling out the Huduma cards. This is after Katiba Institute and law scholar Yashpal Gai sued the government, arguing that it was wrong for the government to roll out the Huduma cards, exposing Kenyans to risks such as breach of privacy, loss of data, while some Kenyans were locked out of the rollout because of lack of identity cards. In its ruling, the court has ordered the government to conduct the assessment before the rollout to create safeguard to protect Kenyans' data, as the cards have already been rolled out. Now, today marks another low for the Jubilee government after this document, I'm talking about the Huduma card, was termed illegal. Now the fate of this document lies in the air. Reporting for Switch TV, my name is Brian Mwenda.
On to other news, Pumwani residents are now calling the government to beef up security and also apprehend those involved in the escape of Masten Wanjala, 20-year-old self-confessed serial killer at Jogoro police station yesterday under unclear circumstances. Meanwhile, 3 police officers who were on duty when Wanjala escaped have been taken in for questioning on what transpired before fugitive went missing. Mariam Jahid reports.
Trepidation engulfed in this Pumwani area in Nairobi County, an area where the 20-year-old serial killer was a football coach for children in this football pitch. Most families are in shivers as they don't know what lies ahead regarding their children's security now that Wanjala is still at large.
We are living with fear because Wanjala amefanya dirty games. Kiwanja ndio hii alikuwa na coach watoto wengine iko pale, anajuana na watoto wengi. Watu akitoka skuli akiwa intervene ataenda na wao, and he will do the same because is perhaps sahi ile asira amekaa nayo ndani anaweza kuwa bloodthirsty, you never know, he's a monster, he's a beast. So serikali ituambie Wanjala ako wapi, ima ako alive ama ame dead, so that we can have the security of our children.
According to Grace Adhiambo, mother of Brian Omondi, who was allegedly abducted by Masten Wanjala, is fearing for her family's safety.
Nashindwa kupata usingizi. Nashindwa, kama ni serikali inafaa kutusaidia. Na sisi ulikuwa unaweza kuwa na amani kama huyu mtu ako ndani, lakini sasa kama hako raia, haujui ako karibu na wewe, ujui alikuwa anafanya kazi na nani, labda ako ndani yetu na ni mtu hanatujua na anaweza tumia njia ingine hata kama na mbali na yeye, kwa sababu hiyo kazi niko na hakika hizi kuwa anafanya kazi kama hiyo peke yake.
Felicitas Wayua, who lost her last-born 12-year-old Musyoki on 7th July this year to the serial killer, has urged the government to beef up security and apprehend Wanjala immediately for citizens' safety. Wanjala, a serial killer, was arrested in mid-July for murdering at least 10 children. Wanjala was to be arraigned in court on Wednesday, October 13th. The very morning, he was discovered missing from the police cells. Authorities have now launched a manhunt mission to find the escapee and have also arrested 3 police officers who were on duty during the time of his escape from the station in question. The officers have been identified as Police Inspector Philip Mbithi and Police Constables Boniface Mutuma and Precious Mwende. The 4th suspect, a female doctor in Nairobi, was arrested after it was allegedly established that she had been in communication with Wanjala via mobile phone. It remains unclear how Wanjala was in possession of a mobile device despite being in detention. In 2020, 242 children under 18 years, 125 girls and 117 boys were reported missing, according to Missing Child Kenya. Most were reunited with their families, but at least 10 were found dead and 18 are still missing. Pumwani residents have now called on the government to start investigation immediately after the self-confessed serial killer Masten Wanjala went missing and his whereabouts is not yet established. Mariam Jahid, Switch TV, Nairobi.
Thank you, Mariam Jahid, for highlighting that particular story. And you are due for a short commercial break. But before that, today Kenya has recorded 186 new COVID-19 cases. That means the positivity rate is now at 2.7%. Yes, 2.7%. Even as 4 patients succumbed to the disease and about 189 have recovered from the disease. We're not taking a short commercial break. We'll be back with more. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Breaking Today. My name is Joel Church and our sign language interpreter is Michael Maidha. Moving on, and our focus now on political matters. ODM party leader Raila Odinga has today taken his Azimio la Umoja initiative tour to the Turkana County. This is in a bid to drum up support for his yet to be officially declared presidential campaigns ahead of next year's general elections. Dan Anunda now reports.
In his effort to occupy the top seat come next year, Raila Odinga has rallied his brigade on a tour to Turkana County, extending his Azimio la Umoja campaign. Odinga, if elected as president, has promised to beef up security, access to clean water and improved healthcare in the county. He has also promised to improve food security in the drought-stricken county.
Lakini jana mliona mimi nitoa pango ingine. Maana bado tuko wakati huu na watu wengi ambaye wako maskini. Kama kuna sahili, kuna ukame na kuna chakula. Kila mara wanahangaika, wanaleta ati ile relief food ya kugawia watu ili hapa na pale. Tunasema kuna njia nyingine ya kufanya hiyo.
In his address, the opposition chief says that given the opportunity, his government will strive to ensure proper use of taxes.
Pesa ikiwa kama iko kwa hazina ya serikali, tunaweza kutoa zaidi ya hata 6,000 hiyo. Kama mimi nasema, ikiwa pesa iko kwa mfuko ya watu binafsi, iko parliament akana hivi. Tutahakikisha kwamba tumeziba hizo mianya pale ambaye hao watu wanaiba pesa yao.
Now that Raila and other presidential hopefuls have put their economic models right in the public eye, it is up to you, the voter, to decide which one is viable, practical and achievable. Daniel Anunda, Switch TV.
Thank you, Anunda. Meanwhile, Deputy President William Ruto has today started touring the coastal region in bid to popularize the UDA party agenda. While speaking in Taita Taveta, the DP said the main focus on creating a major reprieve to the Kenyan economy is embracing the bottom-up economic model and shunned away his presidential seat contenders for misdirecting Kenyans for their very own selfish gains. Our very own Moses Kinyanjui has more.
With only 36 weeks to the 2022 general elections, Deputy President William Ruto and the UDA party is leaving no tables unturned in ensuring he has popularized his party across the nation. The DP has started his 6-day coastal tour today, making the first stop in Taita Taveta County, where he drummed up for the bottom-up economic development plan that he claims will free businesses from the bondage of exploitative financial institutions.
Kazi ya pili ya muhimu iliyosalia ni vile tutawaokoa wafanyabiashara wadogo wadogo, wasiumizwe na jua, wasipigwe na mvua, wasikimbizwe na askari, wasiangaishwe na Shylock na wasiwekwe kwa CRB na watu wafuliza waweze kufanya biashara.
In light of proving his accountability on building the country's economy, the DP criticized his opponents from deceiving Kenyans on his track record and says the time to embrace the economic reprieve strategy talk is now.
Siasa ya kwenda mbele ni siasa ya mahasla, na amekubali mambo ya uchumi. Shida yake anafikiri ya kwamba mahasla ni maskini, anataka kuwapatia handouts. Mimi nataka nimwambie bwana Kitendawili, my friend, welcome to the conversation about ordinary people and welcome to the conversation about the economy. But these young people don't need handouts, they need jobs.
Ruto was accompanied by MPs Lydia Haika, Khatib Mashetani and former Governor John Mrutu. Moses Kinyanjui, Switch TV.
And still a focus on matters politics, and now focus on this story prepared by Flora Limuki. West Pokot Governor John Krop Lonyangapuo has ditched KANU and unveiled a new political outfit named the Kenya Union Party. Lonyangapuo, who is currently serving his first term as governor, was initially elected on a KANU ticket and has been the only county boss representing the party. The Kenya Union Party, whose main focus is solving drought situation that has ravaged the country and insecurity, is now open to coalition in a bid to secure the high table in the next government.
We want to bring a new political discourse, which is we want to see livelihoods being a discussion of 2022. What we have seen so far, and that's why I'm associating myself with this party, I have seen people talking about economics, improving economy. Everybody who is a presidential candidate is talking about the economy here, economy there, economy there, economy there. What people have not brought up, and that is why this party, I like this party and we want to push it forward, is livelihood. People of the pastoralists now, we are talking about food. Food on the table before we talk about economy. The reality of 2022 is the next government is going to be formed by a coalition of parties, as it has been stated by the party. It is true. And in that way, we want to coalesce around KUP to negotiate with other like-minded people to form government.
We now shift gears to matters health. Today, the world celebrated World Sight Day with attention focused on visually impaired people. The government of Kenya has also equipped various eye care centers to mark the day and deployed foreign doctors to help in fighting avoidable blindness. Chepto Boit with the full details.
World Sight Day is an annual day of awareness held on every second Thursday of every October to focus global attention to visual impairment. Globally, at least 1 billion people have near or distant visual impairment that could be prevented. Visual impairment affects people of all ages, with the majority being over the age of 50. The government, in partnership with Embracing the World Kenya with other stakeholders, have constructed and equipped more than 20 eye centers to ease congestion in level 5 and 6 hospitals.
So many people, including school children that need screening, including older people, either who have diabetes or who have cataract, have been really suffering without lack of with lack of services and without access. And therefore, this program that was more than worth 100 million.
Nairobi Women Representative Esther Passaris led conclusion of the eye cataract camp at Thiru Muthua Healthcare.
And of course, they are vulnerable citizens, so we will give them NHIF card, and I've given them 2 months supply for the glaucoma because of the pain, the headache,
Spanish doctors have also been deployed to Kenya to help in eye surgeries, with patients being provided with white canes ahead of the International White Cane Day.
I know it is not simple. You have to talk to people, you have to do the press, you have to do use the radio, whatever, to bring awareness, because a lot of people, they are blind and they don't know there is something that can be done for them.
We have around 200 plus eye cataract operations that have been conducted since the 9th of October.
As we celebrate World Sight Day, let us all remember that eye care is a vital key to human beings, with awareness being created to fight avoidable blindness. Chepto Boit, Switch TV, Nairobi.
Thank you, Boit. Moving on, the malaria vaccine known as RTSS has benefited more than 200,000 children with at least one dose. The vaccine, given in 4 doses from the age of 5 months, is set to reduce the burden of the disease, which is one of the top 10 causes of illnesses and deaths in the country, and a leading killer of children under the age of 5 years. Harry Chimea has more.
The RTSS malaria vaccine, set to reduce the burden of malaria disease, has been administered in the 8 counties with high prevalence in malaria cases, including Kisumu, Homa Bay, Migori, Siaya, Kakamega, Bungoma and Vihiga.
More than 200,000 of our children have received at least one dose through this effort. I'm glad to report that we have not experienced any hesitancy with this vaccine. We have also focused on preventing malaria during pregnancy, especially if pregnant women get severe or complicated malaria.
After the use of insecticides, treated mosquito nets, indoor residual spraying, diagnosis and treatment, among other measures, Kenya is now optimistic that this first vaccine will make significant progress towards eradicating malaria.
This year, we are in the process of distributing close to 16 million mosquito nets in the malaria transmission counties. One net target, at least having one net for every 2 people.
Having the net is one thing, using it properly is a totally different ballgame. I've seen bed nets being used either as barriers in the kitchen gardens, or sometimes we use it for fishing.
On matters COVID-19 vaccination, a total of 4,340,511 vaccines have been administered so far across the country. Experts and advisory bodies are now making recommendations that the use of malaria vaccine should be distributed across the country. Meanwhile, 186 people have tested positive for COVID-19, 189 have recovered, and 4 late deaths have been reported. Reporting for Switch TV, my name is Harriet Chimea.
On to other news, university leaders from all over the country have presented a petition to the National Committee on Education and Research regarding the University Amendment Act of 2012. The leaders, through their petitioner Amos Kimotho, wants university elections to be decided by popular vote rather than electoral colleges. Scott Muruki with more details.
University student leaders have decried injustices in the current University Act, claiming that the delegate system has led to unfair elections.
Tuko hapa kuhakikisha kwamba sheria inarekebishwa, wanafunzi waweze kupigia kura viongozi wale wanaotaka wao wawe viongozi wao, lakini si masuala ya kulazimishwa viongozi kupitia delegate system. Comrades, power!
According to Albert Maloba, the chairperson of the University's President's Council of Kenya, the current Universities Act was only introduced to prevent Babu Owino from ascending to leadership.
Robot leaders who in many cases it's alluded they work with the administration. We have more of administrative leaders more than people who hold public office for many comrades that we have in a university. I know of a university which holds on a semester around 45,000 students, and they need to be run by a public office.
The leaders are seeking to repeal Section 18, 1C, 1D, and 1E of the Universities Act.
The university leaders have petitioned against the delegate system that, according to them, has brought about favorism in campus elections. Scott Murioki for Switch TV News in Nairobi County.
Time now for business news. Facebook is making changes to its harassment and bullying policies that are intended to protect people facing online abuse, especially public figures, as hate and harassment continue to be problems on many social media sites. The company says it will remove targeted, coordinated efforts at mass harassment if there is a risk for harm offline against anyone, even if the content doesn't violate other policies. Apollo James expounds.
Public figures will now get more protection from Facebook on its platforms. In an update to its bullying and harassment policies, the social media giant announced that it will now remove severe sexualizing content targeting public figures on Facebook and Instagram. Politicians, celebrities, and those who have become famous involuntarily because of their work, such as activists and journalists, will be among those protected. The content listed by the company includes profiles, pages, groups, or events dedicated to sexualizing the public figure, as well as derogatory sexualized photoshopped images, drawings, and more. Facebook's head of safety, Antigone Davis, said it was part of an effort to reduce attacks disproportionately faced by women, people of color, and the LGBTQ community. Additionally, as part of the anti-harassment policy update, Facebook will now remove coordinated efforts of mass harassment that target individuals at heightened risk of offline harm, like victims of tragedies or government dissidents. This news comes as the social media giant faces wide-ranging scrutiny from global lawmakers and regulators over its content moderation practices and harms linked to its platforms, with internal documents leaked by a whistleblower forming the basis of a U.S. Senate hearing last week. Apollo James, Switch Television.
Time to now get sporty. Athletics Kenya has suspended all athletics events that are planned to take place in the next 2 weeks effective today, as the country mourns fallen Olympian Agnes Tirop. The AK Cross Country series that was slated for October 16th and 23rd in Machakos Under 10 have also been suspended. The two-time World Athletics Championship bronze medalist who finished 4th in the Olympic 5,000-meter final 2 months ago at Etop set the world record for a women's only 10,000-kilometer road race in Germany. A criminal investigation is now underway into her death, with her husband being the prime suspect. Elsewhere, 2 goals from Wolverhampton's Wanderers Roll and Hector Moreno helped steer Mexico past a stubborn El Salvador side in enticing encounter that saw both sides display their magnificent fitness levels. Jimenez netted in his first goal since November, taking his team top of the log with 14 points, slightly above the United States of America.